If you are trying to get your music into TV and film, the most important part is mindset. So if you're somebody that's maybe tried it before and then you gave up before you started reaping those rewards, I'm telling you right now, the most important thing is the way you think, the way you approach things, and I'm going to give you the top 5 mindsets so you can be successful. Especially pay attention to number 3 and number 5. While they're all important, I would say those 2 are probably the most important. So let's start with number 1. It's a marathon. You need to have a marathon mindset. And, that's a pretty straightforward analogy, right? If you've ever tried to run, if I tried to run today, I would probably run out of breath, right? By like 10 minutes in because I'm out of shape. But if you have a marathon mindset versus a sprint, you're just going to keep chugging along. You're going to work through some pain, right? Your ribs might hurt a little bit, but eventually you will reach your stride and you will get that second wind. So similar to that, it's the same with music production when you're trying to get your music into TV and film. So progress is always greater than speed. So it's not how fast you can get your first placement. It's all about how much progress are you making on a daily basis to build a future in sync licensing. Even if you did 1 track per week, just think about it. You're going to have 52 tracks by the end of the year, even at just 1 per week. So just go in there, create the habits, and start doing it. Also, momentum is greater than burnout. And this is all part of the marathon mindset. So if you get momentum, it helps you not burn out because you're starting to see the peaks of results, right? Little peaks here and there. Results are in this, like I said, it's a marathon mindset. It's a long game, and you may not get results for months. It might be like 2 or 3 months before anything happens. But you just got to believe. You got to keep going. You have to set daily habits and get that momentum. All right, number 2, learning is better than complaining. Now, I know that seems pretty, that's something your grandma might say, right? I mean, it's true. But ask, what can I learn, right? What do I not know? Sometimes we can be overconfident. If you're familiar with the Dunning-Kruger effect, right? Those people are a little, their confidence is high, but their abilities are low. Make sure you're not one of those people, right? Ask yourself, what is my gap in knowledge? I have lots of gaps in knowledge. So far, I've had 65 placements on shows like Dateline NBC, Top Chef, The Today Show. So I've had some success, but I've learned a lot of lessons along the way, and I'm still learning every single day. Study successful producers. Find people that are out there doing it. And I'll have a resource for you at the end of this video of a community that I'm part of called the Sync Producer Hub. Whenever I have questions, whenever I'm down, whenever I am just scratching my head because I'm confused, I just post it in the community. And, everybody kind of comes to the rescue. We all celebrate our wins together. We all help each other get through the hard times. So study those successful producers. Who's doing it already and how can I mimic what they're doing? And then finally, invest in knowledge, right? Learning is better than complaining, so make sure you're investing in you. Watching this video on YouTube right now is part of that. It's because you came here to learn. You wanted to learn something, so keep that mindset going. Learning is better than complaining. Number 3, and I said this is one of the important ones, create, don't wait. So I'm going to use a paradox. I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but it's called the pottery class paradox. I'm going to use this as an example to illustrate my point. They gave 2 pottery classes different assignments. Pottery class A, they said, okay, I want you to build the perfect pot. Spend all semester long designing and building the perfect pot. And then, pottery class B, I want you to make a pot a day and just try to make each one better. Well, I'm pretty sure you can guess who had the better pot by the end of the semester. Obviously, it was the one who created a pot every day. Why? Because they learned a new lesson every day. Maybe somebody accidentally knocked a pot and it hit on the floor. Or maybe somebody learned a new glazing technique or learned that, if you mix the clay this way, the consistency's not right and it bubbles or, whatever it is. You're learning all of these little lessons along the way because you're actually doing it. You're taking action. You're trying it. You're hitting roadblocks, figuring it out, right? That's the only way you can do it. So as my man, Anthony Clint Jr., who runs the Sync Producer Hub says, make music, not excuses. Build those creative habits, and it is a habit. Don't just wait for inspiration. Like, build a habit where you're sitting down every day and creating, and you're reaching out to music supervisors and all that kind of stuff. And then finally, quantity leads to quality, as I said in the pottery class, example. Number 4, treat it like a business. And I know this is hard for creative types like you and I, right? Sometimes we're bad at filing taxes, doing paperwork, getting our license renewed, all of those types of things, because it's a pain and it's not fun, right? But it is a business, and if you make might seemingly be a small mistake early, it could mess up your future royalties. It could mess up your future payments. You're just creating your craft for free. When you create a piece of music, it is actually property. It's intellectual property. And you wouldn't just let somebody come and steal that, right? So make sure you organize your processes. Make sure you set up your business, set up at least a sole proprietorship in the beginning, and then an LLC. What an LLC does is it'll protect you against risk, like your personal assets. So if somebody sued you, God forbid somebody sues you one day, at least they will be taking money from the business, not from your family or your home or anything like that. So treat it like a business and act like you are already a pro. And I'm not saying fake it till you make it. It's okay if you don't know the answers to things to admit that. But you can be professional and you can be confident. Just think about all the hours you've spent creating music and learning how to create music. That's, you're an expert at that. Believe it or not. I mean, you might think of yourself as intermediate because there are people doing it at a much, much higher level. Like, Danny Elfman is creating a lot better music than I am, but I'm still an expert, right? I practice this every day and I get better every day. So have that confidence and act like a pro in the beginning. And that includes when you are, especially when you're interacting with fellow producers and music libraries and music supervisors. You always want to mimic their professionalism. And if you want to, if you're going to error on the side of being a professional. All right. Now, number 5. Finally, we got to number 5. I said 3 and 5 are the most important. Number 5 is keep going when it gets hard. And it will get hard. Everybody hits a dip. Like I mentioned before, you could go 2, 3, 4 months without anything happening. No music library saying yes. Nobody accepting your music. All of those types of things. You got to keep going. Think of it this way. Everybody else who wants to get their music into TV and film, I would say a good 90% probably give up at that hard point. So if you can push through, you're already setting yourself apart from 90% of the crowd, because perseverance always beats talent every single day. So keep at it. Analyze things. You can always analyze and regroup and try things differently. So you do want to analyze along the way and say, okay, maybe something's not working. What can I change in my process, in my music, in my communication to make it happen? But don't quit. Just analyze, regroup, rethink out your strategy, and hit it again. Like I said, consistency always beats talent. All right. So let's recap the 5. So it's a marathon, right? Keep that in mind. Learn, do not complain, learn instead. Create now, don't wait, start today. Treat it like a business, professional, set up your books and everything so you're nice and organized. And then number 5, when you hit those difficult moments, you have to keep going. Mindset drives everything. So today, all I'm asking, bookmark this video so you can watch it later, but just pick one. Pick one of those mindsets that you're going to work on this week if you want to get your music into TV and film. Hell, if you want to do anything, pick one of those mindsets, because it not only applies to, music licensing, getting your music in TV and film, it applies to everything, right? So pick one of those. Pick it today, apply it today. Let me know how it goes in the comments. If you want a community of people to help you like I have, I'll send you in the description. There's a link to the Sync Producer Hub if you want to learn more about that. If you type the word sync, SYNC in the comments, I will send you the link directly. If you don't want to look in the description, I'll make it easy for you. But you can check it out there. I am in there every week, and like I said, there's courses. It's more than just courses, though. It's a program and it's a community. So if you want to learn how to get your first 10 placements or any of those types of things, or anything that goes along with being a music entrepreneur, join the community today. There's a link there. You can follow my journey as well. If you've been watching me lately, you know that I'm on a journey to leave my 9-to-5 and do music full time. Just follow the hashtag no9to5 by 2028, and you can see how I got my placement so far and how you can get yours. But even more importantly, when I transition into full-time music, you'll see how I did it and what I did to achieve that. All right. So thank you for your time. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you subscribe, I also have some free courses if you want to learn more about music production itself, especially in FL Studio. I have that available as well. All right, cool. So I will see you around. Peace.